Good afternoon, everyone. It's a Thursday before spring break. I'm hoping all of you are in good spirits and hopefully you're not checked out already. Um, I know it's been a tough semester. I know things have been kind of crazy on campus and in the world. Um, and Today I hope we get to talk about certain things for this class, and then especially our project that we'll be working on for the rest of the semester. But before we do all of that and kind of check in with everyone about that, I do have a guest coming from Metro. Their name is Sabrine. Nice to meet you, Sabrine. I think it's the first time I've met you. She's gonna kind of talk about support for y'all, correct? Yes, I think.
No,
Go ahead, Sabrina. You got the floor.
thank you. Professor Gamble, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay. Nice to meet you too. Hi, y'all. I hope everybody's doing well. My name is Sabrine. I'm with the Metro Sophomore Retention Project. You've probably got a few emails from us, or if you follow like Metro social medias, you've seen some posts about us. But basically, this is a relatively new project that Metro launched in the past year, and it's basically we're just aimed to support our Metro sophomores. And so we provide different types of resources and support. And so we would love it if y'all check them out if you need them. If you need support at all with academics, your grades, GE requirements, you're trying to figure out your schedule, have questions about your major, trying to change your major, declare a minor, anything like that, questions about internships, jobs, really anything that has to do with school. We're here for you and we can check in one on one, schedule a Zoom meeting, go over anything you need. And then we also launched some peer mentoring groups, which I think you also received emails about. And so we have three this semester. We have one, which is, well, actually, we changed the name recently to peer support groups because it encompasses better what they do or of them. And so these support groups, the first one is Rising Scholars, which is if you need support with academic difficulties, that's a group for you. The second one is the Major and Career Exploration Support Group. If you're trying to change your major, talk about different majors and careers, this is the group for you. And then our last group is the Black Student Community Group. And this group is dedicated to uplifting our Black sophomore students. These groups meet once a month. There's different dates and stuff, and I will send the flyers in the chat. But yeah, if you want to be directed towards a support group, if you want to check in with any of us one-on-one, we can do that. And I'll drop the Metro sophomore email in there. Also, if you just ever have questions, you can shoot emails to that email. And then also um, check out the Metro social media for flyers, resources, all that type of good stuff. But that's it.
Thank you, Sabrine. So yes, please take advantage of all of the support out there. I know we're all remote, but it makes it a little more difficult in terms of trying to get things done sometimes. And I think some of the folks in Metro can help kind of navigate the craziness that we live on a day to day. Do folks have questions for Sabrine? And I believe she just put in a flyer in the chat. If there's no major questions, if you think about a question later today, for sure, reach out to Sabrina and the second year folks. So cool. Thank you, Sabrina. Was that it? I don't know how long you needed, but
Oh, that's it.
okay.
That's all I really had to say.
Thank
Thank you guys. It seems like everybody's exhausted, so have a nice spring break and get that rest.
you. Yes, yes. Alrighty, everyone. So we started the class off with this Zoom chat question, and I feel y'all. Sleep is very important. I know y'all been working hard in terms of your midterms and just keeping up with things. And I think enjoy your well-deserved spring break. Um, Catch up with friends and family. Catch up with, I don't know, some movies and TV. Maybe get out there, get some air too this spring break. Unfortunately, I won't be completely on spring break because City College is still in session. So I'll be kind of like off on this campus, but on the other. So that is life when you're adulting. And then the second one, the current event. So pretty heavy times, a lot of things going on. If people aren't too familiar, recently eight people were killed, specifically six Asian American women were murdered by a white male from Atlanta, Georgia, who had a bad day, the way the news is framing it, which is kind of frustrating to see how certain people get portrayed and people of color get portrayed in a very negative light. Um, I just want to give space for folks if they want to talk about this, if it's weighing on you, if you're had questions or concerns, anyone want to share? It's okay if you're not. Oh, here we go. Um, so Veronica is bringing up a point. So some folks believe it's not racially motivated. That's why they're saying it's a bad day. And this guy was sexually frustrated, I think, because he was an addict. Um, that's how they're framing it. And as I think we've been discussing in this class, there has been a rise in um, Asian American hate crimes. One, two. This is largely uh, representative of Asian American women who work in the spa industry, and this individual, um, I guess, decided he had a bad day and killed them, which is hard to comprehend. But um, in this culture, in this society, things like this happen. Um, if it's spas or schools, so these mass shootings, these murders, obviously aren't just don't come from nowhere. They're influenced, encouraged um, by our leadership, by people around us, communities around us. Um, so it's a very sad um, incident for sure. And I think if you've been following all the 18 anti-Asian hate crimes, there's been so many examples here in the Bay Area. And I also want to highlight the badass grandma who kicked her attacker's ass and put him in a stretcher. I'm not sure if people saw that one, but obviously communities, individuals are fighting as a result of all these uh, hate crimes against Asian Americans. So um, if you didn't know, there's a badass grandma out there, Asian lady, who pretty much didn't want to take it anymore. And with a wooden plank, yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was. Um, and yeah, um, if communities have been stepping up for sure to help, I guess, protect our elderly here in the Bay Area. Folks in the community have been doing more walking around to ensure that they're able to go walk around without being threatened in this way. Unfortunately, they can't be around all day, but for those who are able to fight back, like this grandma, more power to her for sure. Um, and kind of fights that stereotype of Asians as being submissive, docile, won't fight back, won't speak up. Grandma, grandma was fed up. She decided to fight back for sure. Um, Comments? Sorry, I've been talking for a second. Anyone want to comment also on that, or what's going on in the world around these issues? Yeah, that's the disheartening thing. People are attacking elderly, um, most vulnerable. Obviously, they can fight back, but they're perceived as weak, can't fight back, and easy like targets. And Rixel's wondering why these people are doing this. Any theories? Any perspectives on that from the class? If you've been following, what are people's thoughts? Why is there a rise in Asian American attacks, specifically the elderly? People are getting close or hitting down the nail. Um, so Rachel is talking about this idea, well, this idea, racism in American society, talking about how COVID has been portrayed from our leadership, saying that it's the China virus, creating this mass fear in our country, and how does that kind of internalize into people's psyche or give permission, I guess, to actually act on those already racial, um, racist attitudes towards folks. So, yeah, Asians as scapegoats because of the obviously coronavirus has hit a lot of families. And in terms of who's responsible for that and how we're handling it, some of it needs to go towards how our government has handled it or framed it as the China virus. So yeah, I feel like that's just the racist, and they can't attack the younger people because they're more likely to fight back, so they hurt the weaker old. So Emily, yeah. So again, this perception of elderly people being weak and easy targets for folks. It happens in our city. So I think racism exists in different parts of the world. Although we live in a liberal city, some may argue it's losing that liberalness because of our policies, and who is able to stay in San Francisco and who's not. I think someone gonna say something.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to say that I find it just very interesting how Asian culture is very popular and celebrated here, like with K-pop, anime, the food, just a bunch of different things. But then there's this also widespread hate and racism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't know, it's crazy to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm amazed. Asian Americans have been here forever, before even the Pilgrims were out, I think. Um, it, uh, and in San Francisco, obviously, we have a Chinatown. We have political figures out there. They're in our. There's a lot of, I guess, Asian leads these days in movies, artists. So at the end of the day, where is this like racism coming from? Um, Other thoughts from this? Yeah, it's disheartening for sure, and I think just want to go back. COVID has messed up a lot of things in people's lives, and people need someone to blame. And unfortunately, Asians have become that target for scapegoating. Um, and for the Asian American community, for sure, we're fighting back. We're not this virus. We're actually people. We're a community that contributes to this society in many different ways. And I think there's a lot of things still need to be changed in this society. Um, even though we have representation in different aspects, but there's still things to work towards. Cool. The attackers live outside the city. Are we talking about Atlanta or are we talking about others? This is what they're doing here. 3 attackers. Guessing we're talking about something else. Oh, who attacked the grandma? I believe there's one person that attacked the grandma, but I didn't get the full story. Can someone correct me or confirm if you've been following grandma? Sometimes I just get my feeds on Facebook and Instagram real quickly. But it was just most recent, like yesterday, day before. So some of these attacks are homegrown or they come from somewhere else. The one in Atlanta, I believe, he might have been, I guess, a customer of those spas, which I've heard. So yeah, I think hatred can come from many different places. Cool. Alrighty. I kind of want to move forward. So today, I really want to focus on the ethical historiography project. And before we head into the spring break, I kind of want to get a better understanding of where people are in terms of that project, possible topics for the individual, and kind of also define the groups too. So that's pretty much today. So I'm going to try to do different activities to kind of help facilitate that. So, the last session we talked about the Greenwood community statements, and you all came up with amazing presentations and articles about this particular history of time. So now that you've gone through this exercise, now we're going to try to use that to apply to your historiography project. So using what you know in terms of primary and secondary sources, using what we've learned in terms of frameworks around social movements, now you get to apply it to this project. And today we're going to kind of discuss what are the possible topics. I know last session we kind of we introduced the topics. You all kind of put your names under certain columns. So we're going to kind of continue with that. And hopefully it will determine certain groups today. It would be nice to get everyone grouped up today, but I also want to give people time to think about it and figure out who they want to work with and if the topic is what they really want to do, because you're going to be working together with folks. And so, how does that sound for folks? Cool. Anyone have any questions about this part? Are people checked out already? My goodness. Let's see. So today we're going to identify or list possible historical moments, which we kind of already started. Then choose a column that you're interested in. And then if there's a subgroup or it's more focused under that column, you'll be able to choose one of those. So let's kind of review the Padlet that we came up with first, and then we'll kind of tackle these 3 questions. So, That's not it. Where's my Padlet? So for the next 10 minutes or so, I want to walk through this. Do folks need the link again? Shall I resend it? Oh, I should send it just in case. Here's the link. Let me know when people have opened it. I'm assuming you can edit it because it's the same link. Yep. Thank you. Rachel. Trying to use my peripheral to see the chat box. So as folks put their names down under these particular columns around anti-discrimination or particular ethnic movements, labor movements, women's movement, LGBT, anti-war or US empire, immigration, and kind of lump these together, but Second Amendment, gun control, and police brutality. They don't have to be the same, or they could be exclusive too. If you don't, you could also add columns. So I kind of want to just get a landscape of what people are thinking in terms of their interest. The one topic they feel like would be something that they would learn most out of, something that would for sure like you're most interested in. And if you haven't already, please put your name down in one of these columns. If there's not a column, you could add a column. So I don't think I have everyone's name. Oop, oh my goodness. Questions? Where did my, oh man. So I'll give you a minute or two to put your names on there if you haven't already. And this will kind of give me a basis of how to group you two based on your interests. So for example, we have Jessica, Chelsea, Joyce, and Michelle in the Asian American, I guess, subgroup. But that's a very broad topic. I think we need to focus it on a particular period of time that you could work on, because to talk about the Asian American community in general would be too big to talk about within this project. Did everyone put their names somewhere, at least on this Padlet? Okay, is there a chat? Okay, so where do we go from here? Morales, you might, not next. Oh, so Morales, can you put your name, are you here, Morales? Is a question, into the other subgroup? I don't know why there's two not next groups. Oh, you can, oh, I guess there's a limit per sub. Okay, good to know. I didn't realize that there was a limit. So now, it's 229. Now we're basically gonna group up. I'm gonna put you into breakout rooms according to these topics. So, oh my God. Having a hard time today, scrolling over. So for example, I'll put the Latinx group together and you're gonna brainstorm certain or possible historical moments that you could research on. And so in the breakout rooms, I want you to think about what in the particular Latinx American community you want to focus on, or what are great like historical moments that folks are aware of that you want to learn more about, or on the other end, if there's a particular history that's not necessarily recognized or talked about, what can that possibly be? So I'm going to share something with you. So I'm going to have to assign you in particular groups, one. And in those breakout rooms, you're going to come up with a topic that you all could talk about, brainstorm, add your names in there, what you know or don't know about these topics. Reflecting on, like, there's no one topic you're going to pick right at this moment. So just brainstorm on what you know about certain historical moments or periods in these subgroups of like Asian American Latinx, what you know or what you still need to research on. Does that make sense? Am I confusing myself? I hope not. Questions? So I'm going to give you this breakout room link. Copy the link. Okay, so now the challenge is, how do I put you into groups? Give me, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to make up these groups. I'll create at least 10, 11 groups. So for the huge subgroups, if you have more than 4, or if you have like 5 or 6, I'll probably split you all up. For now, you'll brainstorm possible historical moments, and then we'll come back and talk about that. So where is my other Padlet? Jessica, Chelsea. Oh, different Jessica. I think I didn't put you in the wrong one. Chelsea, Joyce, Michelle. Okay, that's one group. Second group. This is the big group. Let's see. Thanks for being patient. Anybody have a good joke? While I do this, anyone want to entertain the class? Rennie, Janella, Luis. How many in this group? Oh, big group. Okay, and then Josh, Emily, Karen. Mariana, Maylee, who's the other one? Marlis. Okay. Getting closer, getting closer. United Farm Workers. Oh, this is a big group. 5 of you. Can't even break you up into 2 different groups.
It's noisy outside.
You want to say hi to my class?
There's noisy outside because they're still fixing it.
Okay. Do you want to say hi to my class? Oh my God, she's barking in front of y'all. Okay. If you don't remember, this is my daughter, Nara. Okay, you're going to entertain them while I do this, Nara?
Okay.
Okay.
Where's my teddy bear?
Where's your teddy bear? I'm in the bedroom. She's trying to get her teddy bear. Where am I? Okay. Sorry, I don't know where it is either. Veronica, Carlos, are you here? No. Me, Vanilla, and then Jocelyn. Okay. Y'all hear that? I don't know if y'all heard that. I can't look at the chat right now if y'all are making silly comments. Roe versus Wade. Okay. So 1, 2, there's 4 of you. Okay. Excel, Liana, Nancy, and Kaylani. Now who's next? Griswold versus Connecticut. Oh, you guys, or you all have a different one. This one's new. Emily, looks like, I wonder if you, here, Excel. Are you in 2 groups? Yeah. Oh, Rachel. Why am I doing that today? Hildy. Okay, so I feel like you all coordinated. I could be wrong, but who else is missing? Immigration, Sandra, Veronica, and Anna. So this is in hopes that you get to work with someone with a similar interest. Hopefully today kind of talk about it at least with other folks about it and see what other people are thinking about this particular topic. Sandra, Veronica, and Anna. Oh, it's just you 2. And then I don't have Brandy, Crystal, Jessica, and Nia. Did you all put your name down? I think I'm missing y'all. I'm in the Native American part. Oh. Jessica, Crystal. Did I miss the Native American one? Sorry, I think I did. I scrolled down too fast. Jessica and Crystal, and then Brandy and Nia. Where do you want to go? Brandy, Nia, I'm not sure if I missed your name or what. Roe versus Wade? Okay. Thank you. I must. Give me a second. Almost there. The last 2 people. So Roe versus Wade is with Excel. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a big group. 5. Brandy. Where do you want to go? You there, Brandy? Okay. Not sure where Brandy's at. which will probably let me know. So I'm going to open up the groups. I gave you the Google link. So in this particular 20 minutes or so, maybe think about possible topics, what you know about those topics, or maybe what you don't know and want to learn more about. And then maybe this becomes a possible group or the group around this topic. And I'll check in with folks after these conversations. Are there questions? Okay, so I'm going to put you in the groups right now. Brandy, I'm not sure where you're at. I'm not sure if you hear me. Are you there, Brandy? Waiting for one group. Couple stragglers. Okay. So, reviewing what you all came up with in your breakout rooms. Some of you all have very focused topics and historical moments. I believe there's a couple who might need some more work. So you're supposed to write a chapter about a particular historical moment. And I think some of you pick like policies or laws that were put through, which is great. That's something to focus on. And then two, I believe one group, I think it was the Latinx group, was talking about discrimination against street vendors. Kind of want to flesh that out a little more with this group, but do folks understand the objective of this chapter project? So you don't want to talk about a whole movement because you can't write that in a chapter, but you need to focus on a particular maybe victory or campaign or policy that was passed. So you don't get lost in the minutia of it all. And we got about 14 minutes. So for this project, based on these conversations, hopefully these are potential people you could work with. And I think someone before asked me, do I assign you or do you get to choose? And I think naturally you kind of chose your group with a topic you kind of wanted to focus on. So hopefully this is the group that you'll work on for the ethical historiography project. Now, not everyone's here, so things might change in the next few weeks for sure. But you might want to keep this group that you already were part of, because you might be already melding with this group. Or if there are other topics you're interested in, you want to jump ship, but go to a different topic, you also have that ability. I think one group seems to be already coordinated together to work on something. So this is how I'm going to pretty much approach how to decide. How do folks feel about that? Did I lose anyone? Who? Oh, thumbs up if you're okay with the group that you already were talking with. Whoa, okay, looks like in general you already like the person or people you like working with. Okay, so that makes my job easier. So for next steps, If you haven't decided if this is the group for you, that's okay, but you need to decide as soon as possible. And for my logging or management of all this, can someone in your group send me that list of people? So some of you are groups of 2, some of you are groups of 3, 4, and 5. So I caution on the group of 5 because imagine trying to coordinate with 5 different people the next few weeks. So if you don't, not necessarily want to break up, but divide and conquer and do 2 different groups, that's a possibility. And there are people who haven't been assigned, maybe they could jump in your group. Or if you have someone already in mind to work with your group, that's okay. Okay, people are already putting names down. So how's that sound for folks? Hopefully this process was a good way to group you without telling you which group you should be in. But groups of 3. Okay, so I got a good amount of you already. Who's the group of 5? I'm trying to remember. Is that the farm workers one? Yeah. We could talk later about that, but it might be a little difficult in terms of coordination. I know you all are busy people. 5 people could be like a headache if it's a group project. And if you've ever done group projects, and if people aren't responsive because there's too many of y'all, that might be an issue. But I should check in with the large group if they still want to continue that. Okay, it seems like everyone's messaging me. So there are 2 large groups. Who's the other large group? Let me maybe go back to our breakout room. Let's get this. I want to get this done today so folks aren't like, they could already coordinate with these people. And you're not like trying to rush at the end, trying to figure out where your group is at. For your own sanity. Roe versus Wade has a big number of folks. Where are you, Roe versus Wade? Ooh, Nia. Oh, 5. So I'll talk to the large groups. So, and when I talk to you, it'll probably be more like, do you want to stay as a large group and you'll be okay with working with a lot of people? 1, 2, you could either self group yourselves, or I could I could assign you the group if that's easier. So that's my next steps for the large groups. How's that sound for the large groups? There are 5 of us. Okay. So the next part of this, will be evolving. So your groups are set up. I need you all to, well, I'm going to create a portal, a submission, and basically you can put your name, the name of the group, the topic, and kind of a thesis statement or an argument that you want to kind of use, and then 2 to 3 sentences of what you've discussed today. So I will do that. I'll open it up later, but I need you all to, just so I could keep track who's doing what. Probably open it up today, but I won't. Would it be easier for y'all to have it due by tomorrow or by next week? Because if I do next week, you might forget during the break. What are folks' thoughts? Next week. Okay. Thank you, Rexel. So I'll open up that portal soon. And then I think that's all I got for folks. So the groups are set up. if there's folks that you want, if you have a smaller group, if you want to include people who are not here today, let me know too. And then I'll have to reach out to those who aren't assigned and probably have to assign them. So cool. So next week, there's a timeline reading, and then there's also a position paper on that timeline. There's not a lot of reading for week 9. So we're, I guess, transitioning back from the break. I kind of want to also encourage folks to read the independent final project guidelines. And then we'll talk about that when we get back from the break. Questions, concerns, violent reactions. And here's one announcement. So this weekend at noon at Portsmouth Square in Chinatown, they'll be holding an event, an art event, kind of bringing light to obviously what we've been talking about earlier on the anti-Asian hate crimes, and also showing solidarity and support with the Asian American community, and how to maybe possibly connect you to organizations that are doing the good work to ensure that our Asian American elderly and the broader community get the support that they need during these very tough times. So 3:10, I'll hang out for folks, but y'all have a great break. Enjoy a rest. Sleep in as much as you can, because I won't. And I'll see you after the break. Thank you, everyone.
Professor?
Yes.
Wait, so do we have